So actually, I wanted to ask you something on the limited partner side and then pivot to the general partnership side and talk a little bit more about Spark Investment Group. But on the limited partner side, you mentioned just from your experience that you've had, I believe you said 7 limited partnerships, and not all 7 of them have gone according to plan. Did I understand that correctly?
Only one hasn't gone quite according to plan.
Okay. Were you expecting 7 out of 7 to go according to plan?
No, at the age of 67, you kind of realize stuff happens, and some of it's in our control, much of it is outside of our control. The one property that hasn't quite performed, I've been in it about a year. It was a very heavy lift, Class C value add deal, and we were still dealing with COVID. Everybody knew it wasn't going to generate a lot of cash flow out of the gate. We bought it at such a low price per door number that the cash flow right now is almost immaterial. It's going to be on the back end. That being said, there have been a few stumbles out of the gate. Nothing that is ultimately going to impact the deal, but it wasn't a big surprise. If you go 6 out of 7, I'd say you'd be pretty happy. It would be like if you pick 7 stocks.
Right.
Are all 7 going to go up? Right. Probably not.
Well, and Arne, so this is the perspective that I love, right? Because I think a lot of times there's also this like love affair. People are, when you've done the stock market and that's what you've done your entire life, and then you watch a lot of podcasts, and even, members of the Going Long family that are here today, like say, okay, well, great. There's guests and Arne's talking about this opportunity. He's got 7 opportunities, and like, it's very difficult to bat 1,000. Like, it's very, very difficult. And so, number one, it's just the realism that you bring. Like, not every single investment that you make performs to standard, and some of them actually lose. They don't even go anywhere close to what they were supposed to do. Now, you're just sharing a part of something that's, you've been in it for a year or so, but also too, did you go into it with the mindset that, hey, listen, this is going to be a heavy lift, and I know that there is some additional risk related to accomplishing this business plan?
Yes. It was apparent to me that it was going to be a heavy lift. Yes.
Okay. So was the upside on this particular opportunity really, really much higher than most, and that was what made it worth going forward, even though it was a little bit risky, or I don't know, heavier lift?
Yeah. That's a good point. I like the market that it's in. I like the operators. I knew the payoff was always going to be at the back end. And in a day where it's hard to buy units for less than $100,000 a door now in a market, it's very competitive. We paid less than half for these units. So we paid about a quarter of replacement cost. So at the end of the day, I know it's going to work. Where I have Class A deals that just run right out of the gate, maybe not as much upside. And that's the other thing, is a limited partner. You can diversify. You can have a couple Class C deals. You can have a couple Class B. You can have a couple. It's like buying, Microsoft and then buying an IPO, right? Yeah. You like a little diversification. It's like a little bit of Bitcoin, and you can do that with multifamily syndications too. So I kind of look at it as a portfolio wide thing. And over time, I know real estate's going to be good. We have issues with housing affordability. Rents certainly aren't going down. They're not building affordable housing, or not nearly enough. So I think everything stacks up that long term it's going to be a winner.
All right. Well, I appreciate you giving us that reality, right? Not every single one is a home run. It's a moment in time as well, as you mentioned, yes, over the execution of the entire business plan. Confident that that you understood what you were getting into, and then whether it hits exactly on plan or a bit off plan, every single opportunity is different. But as you mentioned, you like the location, you like the operator, and you saw some things that provided, hey, listen, I know it's going to be a heavier lift, but the upside could be significantly more. So, hey, listen, we're going to go and move forward. So, and I love that idea of the IPO versus a blue chip stock. So,
yeah.
Do you want to say something else?
Sure. I think the other thing is, for people who are considering starting to make those investments, you don't have to go all in on your first deal, right? And so I think there's some wisdom if you have a pool of capital that you want to deploy, you deploy it in several different opportunities, and just kind of start slower and get your feet wet, see if you like it, see if it's working for you, and do it that way. So you don't have to go all in. I think kind of testing the waters is a good way to do it.
So, which is fantastic. Being able to get out there, test the waters, see the different. Also, too, you get a chance to really see what's out there. You get more experience as an investor, which is ultimately over the period of time is going to help you as an investor.